start with the triangle that has two pieces of information. You can't start with the one on the right because the only thing you know is this leg is 6. So what triangle do you have to start with? The left one. And what did y'all go find in the left one? Which angle? The one that is marked. Why would that be beneficial to find? Good, it's the same as the one in the right triangle. So if I can find that angle, go put it in the right triangle, then won't I have two pieces of information in the right? And then you can find x. So to find this angle, I called it theta, like Henry said. And then what two sides do we have? Good, the opposite and the hypotenuse. So what did y'all use to find theta? Sine. So the sine of theta equals the opposite, which is 6, over the hypotenuse, which is 10. So how do you get theta by itself? You do sine inverse. Very good. So theta is going to be sine inverse of 6/10. Any questions on how I set that up to find that angle? So everybody okay? Because a lot of y'all missed these or put question marks or wrote like, I don't know how to do this, which is not acceptable. We've talked about that. You got all these ways to get up with me. I got 36.87. Is that what y'all got for the angle? If you type in sine inverse of 6/10 in a calculator. Okay. So now we know this angle up here. So I'm going to circle my angle. The 6 is what side in relation to that angle? Adjacent. Extra credit, Carter. My girls over there, y'all sleeping? Y'all better wake up. I know y'all got good quiz grades. I expect y'all participating. Adjacent. And then what are we trying to find? Hypotenuse. So what trig function did y'all use? Cosine. So cosine of 36.87 degrees equals 6 over x because it's adjacent over hypotenuse, right? Okay, did y'all multiply the x over? And then you have to do what with the cosine of 36.87? Divide it, good. So did y'all type in 6 divided by cosine of 36.87? Okay, if you did, you should have gotten 7.5 exactly. That's what I got. Does that help my people at home with number 22? Because a lot of y'all were saying you needed help with the multi-step trig. You always want to start with the triangle that has two pieces of information. All right, I'm going to help y'all set up 23. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I want to get started with notes because I feel like not everybody's really participating and a lot of y'all are doing fine, so we don't need to be wasting time. If you need help, make sure you're talking to me. So it says calculate the height and the base of the triangle, then use these measures to find the area. Did they draw the height for you? No, but we talked about this last Thursday. You can draw the height and it'll make a right angle, right? Okay, so to find the height, do y'all agree this makes two little triangles now? Which one has two pieces of information? The one on the left. So to find the height, you should have used your information on the left. So step 1, I'm going to circle my angle. Step 2, label your sides. This would be the opposite and the hypotenuse, right? Which means I'm using sine. So did y'all do sine of 45 equals the height over 44? And if you did that, you would multiply the 44 over to get the height by itself. So if you do 44 times sine of 45, I got 31.11 for the height. Any questions on finding the height? Jordan, any questions? Or are you okay? Okay. All right, so now let's talk about it. We need to find the base, right? Okay, to find the base, is the entire triangle going to be a right triangle? No, look at your angles, and I'm going to help some of y'all out with this because some of y'all are struggling. If that angle's 45 and this angle's 66, that makes 111, right? Which means this top angle would be 69, which is not a right triangle. So what could you do to find the base? Good. Carter said look at the two triangles, like the two that it's split into, and find the base of each one using trig. Okay, so to find this base, I think I called it B1. I'm going to use a different color for y'all so y'all can see. So to find this side right here, base 1, I still used this angle. And then I used, this is the adjacent side, and I know the hypotenuse. So I used cosine to find this base. Is everybody okay with that? Do you need to see it? Because a couple of y'all were squinting. So I did cosine of 45 equals the adjacent, which I called B1, over the hypotenuse, which is 44. So I ended up getting that base was also 31.11. Now that's just this one. Are y'all okay with that? Are we sure? Okay, so then I did the same thing over here, but I called this one B2. So to find this second base, circle your angle at 66. I know the height now, so that's the opposite side, and then B2 is the adjacent. So if I have O and A, what am I using? Tangent. So I did tangent of 66 equals, the height was 31.11, and we're trying to find B2. Does that make sense? So then once you find what B2 is, you just add the two bases to get the whole base, and then you can find the area. How do we find the area of a triangle? Base times height divided by 2. I'm making sure y'all are okay with this now. Why do you think I'm spending so much time on this now? They are on your test, and I'm getting a lot of people, I don't know, I'm trying not to play them, but I also, part of me, y'all know me, I want to hold them accountable. A lot of y'all are saying you don't get it, you don't understand. I need you to come to tutoring because my in-class kids look bored. And I'm sure some of you online are also bored because you get it. All right, so enough of that. You should be good with trig. So all we're doing today is applications with trig. So applications just means what? Word problems. Very good. So I'm going to pause this so we can get our notebooks set up. So page 46, trig applications. You only have 2 more days of notes after today, and we are done with notes in Math 2 forever. Keydrian looks lit. That boy's like, yes. 2 more days after today. And today is really, there's only like one new thing, okay? Everything else we should be good with if we're good with trig. So I did make guided notes just because it tends to make the notes go a little faster. And that way y'all don't have to write down all the word problems. Sound good? Okay, if you're somebody at home and you do not have a printer, I will let you know what I need you to actually write in your notebook. But when we get to the examples, you don't need to write out the word problem because I've got it in Canvas for you, okay? All right, y'all. So when you're doing trig applications, there's 2 new pieces of information and they go together. So that's why I said it's really only one new thing that you need to understand. Angle of elevation and angle of depression. If I tell you in a word problem that the angle of elevation is blank, let's say 58 degrees, what does the word elevate mean? It goes up. So anytime we're talking about an angle of elevation, I need y'all to look at this. Angles of elevation are in the bottom corner because they go up with the triangle. Does that make sense? So people at home, you are going to want to write this definition. So I would say angle of elevation is the angle between a horizontal line and a line of sight where the angle is above the horizontal line. So if you're at home drawing or if you're in class and you don't quite understand this picture, that's totally okay. So everybody look, if you have a right triangle, the angle of elevation is always the one in the bottom corner looking up. Okay, what does the suffix, or not suffix, prefix depress mean? It literally means down. Like if you're depressed, you're down on your emotions, okay? So depressed means down. An angle of depression is still an angle between a horizontal line. If you're at home, you're going to want to write this definition again. And a line of sight where the angle is below. Very good. The horizontal line. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, so this is the one thing I don't love about this picture. And this is the part that y'all genuinely get pretty confused about. So I want everybody to make sure we're watching. The triangle you would use to do a word problem with this problem, the horizon is always on the what? The ground. Yes, horizon means ground. So almost every single one of these triangles should look like this. Does everybody see the triangle I just made? So what do you notice about the angle of depression? Very good. Listen, it's outside of the triangle. It's not in it. Okay. Do we want children to be depressed in their lives? No, that's the like corny way. Depression, keep it out your life if you can, at all possible. Okay. Your angle of depression is not in the triangle. It's outside of it. Does that make sense? Now you should be excited when you see this, because these two, if they're both horizontal, that means they are, starts with a P, parallel, which means your angle of depression should be equivalent to your angle of elevation, because they are what? Not vertical. Y'all, they said corresponding. They are not in the same location. Very good. All right, y'all have me worried. Those are alternate interior. They're inside of parallel lines. One's in the top right, other one's in the bottom left. Alternate. Y'all said corresponding and vertical. Ugh. Bless. Y'all okay? Alternate interior. So basically, no matter what the picture, where can the angle always be drawn? Inside where? Good. Okay. Let me draw y'all a picture, because I don't think y'all understood the question, which is fine. But I want to make sure my people at home really understand this. So y'all talk to me. Let's say I have, who do I want to use? Is that Jordan? All right. Jordan's running around the track. I'm going to draw a runner. He's a runner. He's a track star. That is a terrible runner, but I'm trying. All right, Jordan's running. Everybody see Jordan running? Yes? Okay, Miss Poole decides she's going to go to Jordan's track meet, and she's up in the bleachers. So here's Miss Poole. Let me draw me a little teacher-y dress. Let me draw my curly hair. All right, I'm up in the bleachers watching Jordan run, right? Yes? Go with it. You know I can't draw bleachers. I'm not even going to try. I'm not levitating. I'm in the bleachers, okay? Let's say the bleachers are, I don't know, what do y'all think, like 40 feet high, 20 feet high? I feel like they're about 30. We'll go with 30. Let's say the bleachers are 30 feet high, correct? Okay. And let's say from the bleachers, I'm looking down at Jordan running at an angle of depression of 24 degrees. And we want to figure out how far away the start of the bleachers are from where he's running. So that would be here, right? This is what we're trying to find. Okay, if the angle of depression is 24 degrees, y'all remember what you just told me. An angle of depression is outside of the triangle, right? So it's where I am looking down at Jordan running. This would be 24 degrees. So where does that go inside of the triangle? The bottom. So this is what I was trying to get y'all to say a second ago. No matter if it's an angle of elevation or depression, where is it always going to go? The bottom. Because an angle of depression is always going to be congruent to an angle of elevation because they're alternate interior. Does that make sense? If I say anything about an angle of elevation or depression, you can always put it in the bottom because they are congruent. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's keep going with this problem then, because this is fun. And I didn't waste my time drawing Jordan running like he's doing the chicken dance. Looks very strange. How would you find how far away the start of the bleachers are from Jordan? How would we find X? Tangent. Very good. You've got circle your angle. You've got the opposite side, and we want to find the, so we could use tangent. Do you see what we're doing today? It's just word problems where you're going to have to draw a picture and use trig. Keydreen, you with me, bud? Make sure you're paying attention. A lot of y'all say you need help with word problems, so that's all we're doing today. Does anybody have questions before we start jumping into some stuff? What, then? Riley, Nazaria, Tyler, Vidi, Chris, are y'all good?
I'm good.
Okay, Vidi's good. All right, so really quick, if you have your notes, we're going to fill in the rest. If you did not print these off, you don't really need to write this next part, so you can just watch. The two horizontal lines are parallel, which means the angle of elevation and depression are equal. Angles that do this are called, y'all said, alternate interior. So I'm just writing what y'all said. And then the last part, if you draw in a vertical line, like I did over here, then a right triangle is formed. So all we're doing is dealing with word problems where we have to draw triangles and then use trig to solve. Capiche? I don't feel like I need to do all these ones off the note sheet, so I'll probably just jump around, okay? All right, people at home, you don't need to write this part either, but I want you to follow along and participate so you can get some extra credit, okay? It says describe each angle as it relates to the situation shown. So it's kind of hard to see. We've got somebody hiking, and then do you see how there's different angles? Does everybody see that? Okay. How would you describe angle 1? Is that an angle of elevation or an angle of depression? Depression because it's going down. So listen, you can put angle of depression, angle D, that's fine. And then it says describe it as it would relate to the situation. So what this means is somebody would be on top of the mountain looking down at the hiker. Does that make sense? Do we need to write that? Okay. I'm going to abbreviate. Person on mountain looking down. You can put it in your own words at hiker. Because it's an angle of depression, so it should be looking down. People at home, you don't need to write this, just follow along, make sure you understand it in case they ask you to describe angles. What about angle 2, y'all? Angle of elevation, so Jaden, do you think you could describe it for us? The top of the mountain. Yeah, good. He said the hiker is looking up at the top of the mountain. Very good. So I'm going to repeat it one more time so you can write it. The hiker looking up at the top of the mountain. Very good. Am I going too fast or we're okay? The hiker looking up at the top of the mountain. All right, what about angle 3? Depression. That boy killing it. Are the rest of y'all, like, is he just not giving y'all a chance to answer? Look at angle 3. No, Jaden, you're killing it, baby. He's got like 6 extra credit points today. Angle 3 is going down, right? So that's why he said depression. So somebody different, what is he looking at? Like, how would you describe it, Evan? Yeah, he's looking down to the house. Very good. So angle 3 is an angle of depression. You could say the person looking down at the house. Then this is the one that usually gets people. So I'll give y'all a second. Angle 4 is going up or down, y'all? Up. Yeah, follow the line it's connected to. So it's an angle of elevation. Let me see a hand for somebody who wants to describe it. Jordan, I saw you first. Somebody in the house is looking up at the hiker. So really quick, don't tell me a house is looking up. A house is an object. They don't have eyeballs, I don't think. That would be extremely insane. So somebody in the house, maybe they're looking out the window or at the door, they're looking up at the hiker. Does that make sense? We'll do a problem tomorrow where somebody will try to tell me the hot air balloon is looking down at the people, and I'm like, what? You mean somebody in the balloon? Do y'all feel like on your test, if I gave you a situation like this, you could describe each angle? Tell me if it's elevation or depression. People at home, y'all okay with that? Maybe. Oh, Riley, Tyler, beating.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tyler. It's so hard to teach y'all virtually because I can't throw things at you to make you talk to me like I can to them. What? You said I'm gonna make them go all virtual? No, I don't. I hope everybody's back in person next year. All right. Label each diagram and solve each word problem. Round to the nearest tenths place. So a palm tree casts a shadow of 18 feet long. The angle of elevation of the sun is 25.7 degrees. Find the height of the palm tree. So I'm going to zoom in. You are people at home. I do not need you to write the problem, but I do want you to put in your notebook like example 2A, so you can have the right work in your notebook and then look the problem up on Canvas later when you're studying, okay? All right, where do y'all think, because I already drew you the triangle, where do you think that 18 feet long goes? Good, thank you. Please don't put a shadow in the air. That's a ghost, not a shadow. Capiche? Shadows go on the ground. So 18 feet long is the shadow. That's going to be the base of the triangle. Then it says the angle of elevation is what? 25.7. Where do we put that angle? On the bottom right, because it's looking up. Very good. So this angle right here is going to be 25.7 degrees. The people at home, you do need to draw this triangle. Put the 18 feet across the bottom, and the 25.7 degrees is the bottom right angle that goes up. So if it says find the height of the palm tree, y'all, where am I going to put the X? On the left. Good, Henry, right here. So what, somebody different, what trig function could I use to solve for X? What you got, L'Oreal? Tangent, very good. So Haley, help me set it up. Tangent of what? Tangent of 25.7 equals, good, H over 18, or you can call it X over 18. You can use whatever letter you want to find that height. All right, Keydrian, you with me, babe? How would I get X by itself? Multiply 18, very good. So in Desmos or in your calculator, you would type in 18 times tangent of 25.7 degrees. Look at this old calculator. Times tangent. Let me make sure it's in. Oh my God, it doesn't even work. I may have to get y'all to call out your answer you got because I don't think any of my calculators work. people be borrowing them and then don't replace the batteries. All right, here we go. Mode, degree, 18 times tangent of 25.7. Did y'all get 8.66? It said round to the 10th, so 8.7. 8.7 feet tall. Questions on the first example? Are y'all good? Yes? Okay. Y'all try example 2B. So I've already got the picture drawn for you. See if you can label where the information goes. And then we'll talk about it. So everybody look at 2B. People at home, draw your triangle in your notebook, label it 2B. So it says a sign on a roadway indicates that the road will incline at 10.5 degrees. So they already have the 10.5 in this bottom angle of the triangle. Is everybody okay with that? So that angle is 10.5 degrees on your paper. Y'all good with that? Okay, so then it says the altitude for a car ascending up the mountain is 3,850 feet. What does altitude mean? The height. So which part of the triangle represents the height? The left side. Very good. So this left side is 3,850. It wants the length of the road. Is that the bottom or the hypotenuse? Hypotenuse. Very good. So this piece right here. So what trig function did y'all use to solve for the length of the road? What'd you use, Jordan? Sine. Very good. So Jordan said sine. So remember, sine of the angle equals the opposite side, which is what? 3,850. Okay, y'all are scaring me a little bit. Over the hypotenuse, which is x. So first you got to get x out of the denominator, so you would multiply it. And then it should equal 3,850. So how would you get x by itself? Good. Divide by sine of 10.5. 10.5. Ooh. All right. So divide by sine of 10.5. What did y'all get for x? I'm going to check you. What'd you say? Are you in degree? Make sure you're in degree. 21,126.5. There we go. 21,126.5 feet. Which makes sense. It should be a really long road. Oh, miles. Oh my God, it's in miles. Oh, no, it's not. Freeze. Hold up. Yeah, that's the feet. Y'all were going changing units on me. This is a hard problem. I'm glad this is up here. We like this. Sean's like, please stop. Do y'all agree it's 21,126.5 feet? Okay, if you want to convert that to miles, he's about to ask Siri. I can tell you the answer. You can quiz me. Because we do this in pre-cal. Y'all listen, pre-cal is all about conversions. There's a whole flipping unit on it, okay? There's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. So if you're trying to figure out the miles, you would divide this by 5,280. Did y'all do little conversions like that in middle school with like feet and inches? Are you sure you were supposed to? I think you did. Some of you might forget. If you didn't, it's okay. So if you divide this by 5,280 feet, did y'all get 4 miles? Like it came out to almost exactly 4 miles. So 4 miles. Yeah, 4.00. 12. That's a hard one. How did I get what? Because it says the road will incline 10.5 degrees with the ground. So that's the angle going up. Incline means up. See it? Good question. Y'all good with 2A and 2B? Yes? Okay, let's do 2 where they don't give y'all a picture, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all work on your classwork homework. So let's do, oh, C is so good though. I think we're gonna do those tomorrow. Yeah, let's go down to 3. Oh, no, nope, nope. Let's do this one first, and then we'll go down. So let's do 2D. And then we'll just do one more if y'all are good. So what's different about 2D? No picture. You're going to have to draw it. So a 20-foot ladder leans against a house. So I'm going to draw a little house. Y'all know my art is fantastic. Y'all enjoy this. That's actually pretty good. Don't play me. That's good for me, and you know it. That is good for me, minus the little curve right here. They got some foundation issues in their house. How long is the ladder that's leaning against the house? 20 feet. So I'm going to draw a little ladder leaning against the house. Wow, so pretty. That's 20 feet. See how it made a right triangle? Perfect. It says the base of the ladder is 5 feet from the base of the house. So where does the 5 go? On the bottom. Good. And what are we trying to find? Be careful. What is the angle formed by the ladder and the ground? So we're trying to find this angle right here, right? People at home, are y'all okay with the picture we drew? Yeah, so basically if it says the angle between the base of the ladder and the ground, that is the angle of elevation. Yep. BD, are y'all good with the picture, babe? Chris?
Yeah.
All right. So how do we find that angle? What 2 sides do we have, Jordan? Hypotenuse and adjacent. So what can we use? Cosine. Good job, y'all. Cosine of x equals the adjacent, which is 5, over the hypotenuse, which is 20. How do you get x by itself? Yes. Okay, you can't divide by cosine. You got to move cosine, good, which means cosine inverse. So y'all, I told several people last week and yesterday, anytime you're trying to find an angle, that is always inverse. Because you're trying to find what we're taking the cosine up. So if you do cosine inverse of 5 over 20, what'd y'all get? Yeah, 75.5 degrees. Ooh, whoever that is. All right, we're going to do one more, and then I'm going to turn y'all loose to do your classwork. It's only 5 questions, so it's pretty easy. All right, let's go down, if people at home, if y'all are good, let's go down to 3C. This one's a little tricky. I want to make sure I do one like this. So a water tower is located 325 feet from a building. So I'm going to draw a building. I don't even know how to draw a water tower. This is about to look like a lollipop, but it's fine. There we go. It is not a tree. Trees are not round. That's a water tower. I'm going to even put water on it. So y'all quit trying to play me. That's a water tower. How far away from the building is the water tower? 325 feet. So where does that measurement go? On the base, on the bottom. Good. So this is 325 feet. I'm using like the whole block as my picture. You do not have to do that unless you want to. So the distance in between them is 325. From a window in the building. So you need to draw a window in your building. That is a big window, but that's okay. From a window in the building. It says the angle of elevation to the top of the tower is 39 degrees. What does angle of elevation mean? We're looking up. So from the window, I'm going to do it in pink. From the window, we're looking up to the top of the tower, right? And that angle is supposed to be what? 39 degrees. Good. That's the angle of elevation to the top of the tower. Remember, an angle of elevation, you wrote it on the front. The definition, it's an angle between a horizontal line and a line of sight, right? So I drew that horizontal line. You can't just draw the 39 there. Okay, then it says the angle of depression to the bottom is 25 degrees. So remember, depressed means it goes down, right? Okay, so if we look down, what do you need to remember about angles of depression? Oh. Outside, very good. Who said that? L'Oreal and Carter, extra credit. I knew it was two of you. Did you say it? Angle of elevation outside of the triangle. So where does the 25 go? Underneath the pink, but above the green. Good. So right here. That was a good description. That's 25 degrees. Do you see how these can get tricky? Yes, I hope. These can get tricky, so you got to make sure that you are drawing stuff in the right spot. Does anybody at home have questions about where I put those angles? If you look up to the top, that's 39 degrees. If you look down to the bottom, that's 25. Is everybody good? Yeah? Okay. It wants to know how tall is the water tower. So I'm going to pick a different color just so I can draw this in there for y'all. We want the entire height of the water tower. How are we going to have to find that whole height? Yeah, talk. I want y'all to talk. We do what with 39? That is the angle. So you can, okay, so let me say what he's saying. He said you can use the 39. That'll give us this part, right? Very good. The 325 feet, that's the same distance away right here because those lines are parallel, right? Still the distance between the building and the water tower. Then we can use the what? 25 degrees to find this part of the height. So we're going to have to use trig twice and then do what with these two heights? Add them. What's up, Hales? You can't add the 2 degrees together because then this is that whole angle. And this triangle right here that we drew isn't a right triangle. The whole thing is not a right triangle, but it splits into 2 right triangles. Basically like a tent. That looks like that doesn't satisfy your question. You want to ask it again in a different way? No, let her ask. I know you, so I know I didn't answer your question. All right, so y'all listen, it's got to be right triangles to use trig. So this top one, that's a right triangle, and this bottom one is a right triangle, right? Okay, so let's find the top half of the water tower. What trig function could we use to find this piece? I'm just going to call it x. Tangent of 39 equals x over 325. Very good. Tangent of 39 equals x over 325. If you are struggling with this, I need you to ask me questions. I feel like some of y'all just like to say you're struggling to use it as an excuse. I hope not. How would you get x by itself? Multiply 325. Good. So 325 tangent of 39. Did you guys get for the top part of the water tower that it's 263.2? Oh, I'm sorry. I went too fast. I'm sorry. Yeah. Soraya, you got 263.2? Did you actually do it? Do your stuff. Y'all gonna make me mad like some of these virtual children. Not you four. Y'all are being good. I'm gonna put 263.2 because I don't hear anybody telling me they didn't get that. Is that what y'all got? Okay, y'all didn't answer me. Now, how do we find the bottom height of the water tower? Be careful. Tangent of 25, because look, the right angle's right there. So you've got the opposite and the adjacent. So tangent of 25 equals, are y'all good if I call this y? Because we already used an x. So tangent of 25 equals y over what? 325. So again, Jaden, what do we multiply by? 325. Very good. So I'm going to do 325 tangent of 25. Kedrian, are you okay, babe? Okay. Did y'all get, did I give you enough time this time? No? Okay. Did y'all get 151.5? Yeah. Okay, so to find the total height of the water tower, what can I do with those two? Add them. So if you do 263.2 plus 151.5, you get 414.7 feet. That's about as hard as they can get, is if it makes two triangles and you have to find different pieces to find the total length of what they're asking for. So I'm gonna say that one more time because I don't think everybody was listening. That's about as hard as it'll get, is if it makes two triangles. But we've done multi-step trig with two triangles already, so y'all should be okay with that. Any questions before I turn you loose on your classwork? It is not on Delta Math. They don't have anything. Delta Math never has any good word problems, so it is not. It's a worksheet. But it's only 5 questions.